up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Defense ministers and military leaders from around the world gathered in Singapore this weekend for the Shangri-La dialogue, Asia's premier security forum. But some of this year's gravest concerns came from outside the region. Rick Liao reports.
Not much time for niceties in Singapore as the world's top defence and military leaders gather at the Shangri-La dialogue, many bringing stark warnings about rising security threats to the delicate international order, including about Chinese President Xi Jinping.
It has to be clear to all that Beijing is credibly preparing to potentially use military force to alter the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. We know, it's public, that Xi has ordered his military to be capable of invading Taiwan by 2027. The PLA is building the military needed to do it, training for it every day, and rehearsing for the real deal.
Taiwan faces an existential threat from China, which claims the self-ruled island nation of 24 million people as part of its territory and has been increasingly conducting military drills around the country. But it's not just near Taiwan that China is throwing its weight militarily.
China's activities are getting more expansive and more aggressive. Their demonstrations of force are getting more frequent. And in the West Philippine Sea, we are getting used to their activities, but they have expanded the areas where they are doing it. To include their exercises of Australia and New Zealand.
And the message from the US to this region is clear. The China threat is real and the Indo-Pacific needs to boost defence spending to meet this danger. While French President Emmanuel Macron, bringing lessons from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, called for a new alliance between Europe and Asia based on shared principles.
The rules must remain the inviolability of borders, respect for sovereignty, refusal to use force as a means of domination, and we must cultivate a spirit of independence and a desire for cooperation.
Conspicuous in his absence, China's defence minister, Beijing instead sending representatives from the country's National Defence University to hit back on claims of rising Chinese aggression.
我们不接受对中方的无端指责，有的内容无中生有，有的颠倒黑白，有的贼喊捉贼，根本就是挑起事端、制造分裂、煽动对抗、搞乱亚太，这违反潮流，不得人心，也不可能得逞。
The lack of a high-level delegation from Beijing here as the world's top security officials meet may be a warning in itself. The stakes are rising here in the Indo-Pacific and the time for talk may be running out. Ryan Wu and Rick Liao for TaiwanPlus.
The latest push for a Gaza ceasefire has stumbled. The U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff slammed Hamas's response to a U.S.-backed truce deal, calling it totally unacceptable. Hamas agreed to release 28 Israeli hostages, including 10 alive, over a 60-day pause in fighting. But the group is also demanding a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, terms Israel has repeatedly rejected. The war, now in its 20th month, has killed tens of thousands of people and left Gaza on the brink of famine. In Indonesia, rescue teams are racing to find survivors of a deadly quarry collapse. At least 17 people are confirmed dead in West Java. Authorities are still searching for 8 others, feared trapped beneath the rubble. The region's governor says the site is dangerous and not up to safety standards. It's the Dragon Boat Festival long weekend here in Taiwan. While many people have taken the chance to go abroad, there's plenty to do for those who choose to stay in the country. 888 upright watermelons line a road in southern Taiwan. An odd sight any other week, but this is Dragon Boat Festival weekend. People usually balance eggs upright on this holiday, believing it to be a sign of good luck in the coming year. Legend has it that the sun's position over the earth during this time makes it easier for eggs to stand up because of gravity. But instead of eggs, this part of Taiwan is using watermelons because they're a local specialty. Another Dragon Boat Festival tradition takes place here at Sword Well in Taichung City in central Taiwan. The well is thought to have come about when a famous general stuck his sword into the ground and water swelled out. It's said the water from this well is teeming with powerful life force at noon on the day of the Dragon Boat Festival. People collect what's colloquially known as noon water for good luck. All 500 available bottles of the lucky water were snatched up, showing just how serious Dragon Boat Festival traditions are here in Taiwan. Some opted to travel abroad over the long weekend, but if attendance is anything to go by, domestic Dragon Boat Festival celebrations are still a strong draw for people in Taiwan. Hank Xu and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus. The Coast Guard has found the body of an American tourist who was swept out to sea. The man was reported missing on Friday after visiting a beach in New Taipei City with 8 friends. He was one of 3 people reported missing. The other 2 were rescued, but his body was recovered on Saturday with no signs of life. In a separate incident, a Mexican man went missing after visiting a beach on Taiwan's Green Island. Authorities are still searching for him. Taiwan is surrounded by the ocean, yet many people fear the water and never learn to swim. But in the documentary Swim Against Fear, a group of children take on one of Taiwan's toughest open water challenges, swimming 5 kilometers from Keelung to Keelung Islet. Our reporter Sandy Chi sat down with the director Wayne Chen to discuss what it means to face the sea head on.
This journey the kids went on is truly inspiring, and they're around 10 years old. How did it all start?
因为这群小朋友从很小的时候，可能在4、5岁的时候就开始学习游泳。有人在俱乐部，有人可能就是跟着教练在进行就是游泳的训练。然后后来也接触了铁人3项的运动。然后就是在这个铁人3项俱乐部里面，我们认识了蔡松佑教练。等于说这些小朋友就是一路跟着蔡教练，就是最短大概都训练2、3年以上。所以彼此都很熟悉，教练也很熟悉小朋友，也知道小朋友的实力在哪里。所谓的实力就是泳技在哪里。然后呢，因为台湾是海洋国家嘛，然后蔡教练一直想说，这些小朋友在比赛之余，是不是可以做一些其他的运动或挑战学习？那不是只有竞赛，因为竞赛永远只有1位赢家、2位赢家，甚至就可能是前3名的赢家而已。那他只想说，那是不是可以让他们在练习那么久的时间里面，可以得到一些自信心或成就感，然后也可以学习到一些海洋知识。所以他就突发奇想嘛，那是不是我们有机会去做一些海洋上的一些泳渡的计划？那因为从基隆泳渡到基隆屿这件事，其实行之有年，但是他都是成人。只有成人在做这样子的挑战，那这条路线其实是被开发很久了。教练就想说，那我们是不是试试看这一群小朋友已经非常有游泳基础的小朋友，是不是有机会去完成这样的挑战？所以一开始只是这个想法，然后跟家长讨论之后，大家觉得说我们可以试试看这样子。
How did the children train for this?
他们平常训练是在泳池。那泳池的训练，它是跟海训是完全不一样的，因为泳池是可控的嘛，它是不会有海浪，不会有一些起伏的部分，然后深度也是有一定的深度，相对来说它的安全上是可控的。那海洋的话，就是它会因为潮汐、季节、地形，然后甚至是心理的压力，都会去影响说一个会游泳的人，不管是大人或小孩。他到水里面，他会是完全不一样的状态，因为这次就很明显的可以体悟到，就这个部分，就是有一对姐妹，她们都在学校都是很棒的校队选手啊，她们游泳训练也非常久，然后成绩也非常好，可是她们第一次跳到海里面，她们发现她不会游泳，因为那不是她认知中的水，因为海是咸的，然后有海浪，然后甚至会有水母。他会觉得那是一个非常可怕的环境，那不是他平常习以为常可以游泳的地方，所以他们就一跳下去没多久就起来就一直哭。他虽然都是游泳，但是他是完全不一样的，可以说是运动。
So we understand that you're also a parent of one of the young swimmers, and what made you decide to have your kid be part of this whole project?
因为小朋友很小就开始接触游泳，然后他就是喜欢在海边玩，然后也不怕水。然后我们也知道说，随着他的年纪的增长，他的泳技跟技能啊、体能啊，跟他的信心都有到一定的程度。然后教练这边也是信任，因为教练跟了很久，然后还有给我们很好的 完备的计划，所以那时候就很单纯的觉得说，我们就试试看。因为其实那时候我们家长跟教练，其实我们都有一个共识，就是安全一定是放第一。不管是在训练的时候，或者是在实际挑战的时候，我们都是只要有安全的疑虑，我们就是喊停，并没有说一定要完成不可。那在这个前提之下，我们就觉得说，那当然是可以去试试看这样子。
So why do you think it is important for kids to fully understand the ocean and also have experience swimming in the ocean?
台湾四面环海，然后而且地形也不一样，像西部的话，西部它就比较是沙岸嘛，然后东部就是沿岸。我们每年都知道说，尤其是到了夏天，海边常常会发生一些意外。那些意外常常你看到是可以避免的，为什么会还是不断的发生？就是我认为，不管是在民间或是政府，我们都没有很认真的去看待海洋这件事，就会觉得说有一些禁忌吧。所以我觉得，如果台湾自诩成一个海洋国家，我认为就是应该要让这个我们现在台湾普遍未知的，在对于海洋的未知，要去慢慢的化为已知。那如果一旦很多事情已知之后，你就不会觉得它是一件危险的事或者是冒险的事，因为你会自己评估，你可以做那个风险评估，知道说今天的状况是适不适合去做海边的水上活动，然后适不适合在这样的地形去下水，甚至有一些洋流的部分，你要怎么去辨别，或者是如果你真的陷入了所谓的离岸流，你要怎么去逃脱？那这部分我觉得就是在台湾完全都没有任何的知识或教育这样子，所以我会觉得这一点是我们非常缺乏的。
That was Wayne Chen. You can find the full interview with him on Zoom and Zoom Out, available on YouTube or the TaiwanPlus website. As cultural exchange between France and Vietnam deepens amid growing regional diplomacy, calligraphy students in Hanoi are learning more about their French colonial past through ink and brush. Zalan Shatta takes a closer look.
Flowing brushwork. This is how 7 calligraphy students in Vietnam spend an evening each week.
Energetic activities don't suit me. Calligraphy is a way for me to relax after work.
Led by a calligraphy teacher in his own tiny home, they're reviving the origins of Romanized Vietnamese, or Quoc Nu, a writing system first introduced by the French when they colonized the country in the mid-19th century. This writing connects key chapters in Vietnam's history, from early Christian influences to the rise of the Communist Party, leading the country to independence in 1945.
I believe that it's in our blood, a gene that flows in every Vietnamese person, to love their traditional culture. The only difference is that as we grow up, some of us are fortunate enough to find environments where that love can flourish. Others may take on different roles to serve society, but deep down, we all appreciate it.
In the 1600s, after centuries of using Chinese characters, Catholic missionaries created a much simpler Vietnamese alphabet to help people read the Bible. During the 19th century, French colonizers replaced traditional scripts, paving the way for nationalist messages to spread across the country, creating a system that represents the many faces of the Vietnamese language.
Writing calligraphy in Quoc Nu is special because I can still use the techniques of traditional calligraphy. But we can be more creative in terms of color, shape, concept, everything.
Today, the distinctive marks of Vietnamese script do more than guide pronunciation. They tell a story of cultural resilience. Rooted in a colonial past shaped by centuries of change, the calligraphy is a reminder of the country's historic move toward independence. Hang Su and Zalan Shata for TaiwanPlus.
And thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take you to Hong Kong for the Aberdeen Dragon Boat Race. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.